Abhi, please come to solve any two of the following. Let us solve the problems now. Yes. X is tried for a crime. The fact that he said something indicating an intention to commit that particular crime is relevant. Give reason. ये क्वेश्चन आंसर करने के लिए you should know the section as well as the illustration. Can anybody point out the section and illustration? We have read this. The other question is the fact that something indicating general disposition to commit the crime is relevant. Give reason. Section 14 check कर ले यहाँ पर. Sorry, first के लिए section 14 illustration P. Please, इसीलिए I made it a point to read for you section illustration. If any examiner some old examiner is give assigned paper, he will ask you question like this only. Please note that here. Illustration 40, section 14 में आ जाइए. This question directly flowing from section 14, that is fact showing the existence, state of mind, body of mind. Here the man's intention, his intention shows his body language, his feeling, whether it's ill will or good will. It's a good will, it's a ill will of a person towards the other person. Now, ill will is coming here. Ill will is now secured. We read it last time. You please see illustration. Illustration P में आ जाइए. This is exactly fitting in illustration P. The fact that the yes. Yeah. A is tried for a crime. Illustration P of section 14. The fact that he said something indicating intention to commit a particular crime is relevant. So he is mentioning here, yes, I am going to tomorrow commit dacoity in the bank along with my friends in so-and-so bank at 11 o'clock. That is the intention reflecting. I am going to shoot tomorrow B. He has hurt me. He has encroached my property. That is his intention, his ill will, his state of mind is revealing. So this is coming under section 14, illustration B. Now the second one, the fact that he said something indicating a general disposition to commit is relevant. It is not relevant. That is, see, the fact that he said something indicating general disposition to commit a crime of is irrelevant. So यहाँ पे लिखा गया है relevant, but it is in fact irrelevant.
Sir,
No, yeah.
but if he's giving details into the how he's going to commit the crime, etc., it would be relevant then,
Relevant
right?
mean I am going to suppose kill my neighbor who has harassed me, he encroached my property, or run away with my wife or daughter, or having an affair. I will shoot him. That is a specific motive. But he will suppose if he says I am going to shoot anybody who has a ill will towards my family, or whoever is trying to grab my property. That's a general statement. That's general statement cannot be led in evidence to prove the intention of the person under section 15. That intention, the existence of the state of mind. You are allowed to lead evidence before the court of law to prove a state of mind, body language of a person. What kind of, whether he is harboring goodwill towards you, ill will for you, the act is done by him negligently, rashly, towards any particular person.
So, sir, the bank example that you gave, sir, where he says that so-and-so bank on so-and-so day,
yes,
I will go with so-and-so
bank,
friends. So that is particular.
Yes, he must mention the name of the bank. I am going to Luto all the banks in the country is a general statement. I am only going to Luto with my friends, the State Bank of India, Colaba branch. It is a specific question, isn't it? It's a specific question because the manager has cheated me and there are lots of money. In pandemic, we require it. We are going to stop. So you come to know this from the recording of statement, police statement. So to show that this man has been harboring intention, his ill will, showing the state of his mind at the time before commission of the crime, that evidence is allowed to show that he is the culprit. to prosecute him, to bring him to book. A general
Thank you, sir.
statement made by him, I am going to launch into a campaign of robbing all the banks, whichever state bank, whichever so-and-so bank, is irrelevant. Specifics, you must make a specific allegation against the specific person. So this is the question solved here. You have to give reason. It refers to section 114. Section 14, illustration P. Please remember the illustrations well. That is why morning mein utho, 5 o'clock, 2 hours you read the illustration of the entire Evidence Act. I am sure you will cover the entire Evidence Act in 2 hours. My practice as a lawyer, when the brief comes to me, when I read the entire Bear Act first. Something, a new legislation comes, for example, securitization new act. The IBC is a new act here. Certain people ask opinion. I just don't read one section, two section. Pura full Bear Act padhta hu main. Then go on the net, check the judgment of the Supreme Court relevant on the point. Unless you read the entire General Act, ek baar, do baar padhna padega, then you understand the gist. So as a student, you will take more precaution to appear, and you should read the Evidence Act is not very large. 167 section, you can wipe it. We can go through in 2 hours. So ek din padho, dobara second day bhi padho, illustration we go through 2 times carefully. You'll remember. You will be able to lay your hand. I'm sure you can lay your hand. If I can lay my hand, anybody can lay their hand. Okay.
Sir, 1 second, sir. So you are just going to tell us, then you stop. When you get a new brief, what do you do, sir? Please, sir, 2 minutes.
I read the entire facts of the case first. Pura matter pad leta hu main. And even if I know the act, once again I will run through the entire act. Each and every section in paragraph, illustration. I make my note, then find out the judgment, what the Supreme Court has said in my favor and also against me. Even judgments which go against you, you must go through to distinguish before the court if in case others had sides. So, my lord, the issue there was totally different. It was interpreted in this manner. It is not a ratio designated or laid down. It was a operator in the nature. So, you can argue that way. That's the interpretation. The ratio laid down in my case, for example, in the case of Supreme Court, Arjun Pandit Rao's case, is applicable to the facts of the case. I have produced the record. The record of the conversation and the photographs are taken. I have seen the defendant distributing notes to various people. So I have taken the photographs shot. So it's a primary evidence. It's a primary evidence. You have to tell the court, my lord, this is exactly fitting. Not in the earlier case of the Supreme Court, which is overruled judgment. The latest judgment in Pandit Rao will be applicable. So the court need not resort to the earlier judgment, that where the court said that here the court may take it, may not take it into consideration. Goodwill cannot be, justice, good conscience is not the approach. You cannot import in the Evidence Act justice, equity, and good conscience approach as was used in the earlier cases which have been overruled. That is Shafi Muhammad's case. You know that, no? Shafi Muhammad case के अंदर the Supreme Court was very large-hearted.
Yes, sir.
Equity, good conscience के ऊपर. Even in Navjot Seddhu's case, the Supreme Court was very large-hearted. Yes, whatever spoken and telephone, recording and video accept karo is a conspiracy proved. That is not. The concept is wrong. The Supreme Court did not agree with the judgment of the Supreme Court in the state of NCP Delhi. That is Navtej Sandhu's case. Arjun Pandit Rao judgment is devoting at least 3-4 paragraphs on that. So that is, you will come to know only provided you have gone through the judgment carefully and the provisions of the act.
So how do you go about finding the judgments that are for you and against you once you get
everything is on the net. Nowadays it become easy for you. Whatever judgment I am now, the libraries are closed. I am handicapped. There are not many books. Some books are lying in my chamber office, Andheri office and Bandra office. I am sitting at my home. I am with limited books here. But your net is helping me. Google. Whatever judgment I am sending you from the Google. Actually, I was not acclimatized to using Google and all. Thanks to this pandemic, I am learning. My daughter, my son-in-law, my wife, all have been teaching me how to go through the Google and handle it. I am learning. See, life is a learning experience. So don't worry, you learn it and you will pass it. Because if I tell you, if a person if I can learn, anybody can learn. So there'll be no problem. Yeah, all will learn.
So
Next,
that's really great. So, like, really, I mean, as you're telling, it's very important to adapt to change no matter what your age is, and it's really great. So that.
I beg your pardon.
So, like, you should adapt to change no matter what your age is. So it's so great to know, sir, that you have accepted the change and you've got to update yourself at
Yes,
this.
see, adaptability. You have to adapt to new condition. You cannot be dwelling in the past. What you are trained in the past, you should not do. The condition change you. The new condition you must adopt. So I am learning along with you all. It's not that I am not claiming to be a top professor or a top lawyer, but I am learning the law along with you still. It gives me pleasure to learn along with you. See, you have given me the opportunity to run through the act again, do research, which I am enjoying it.
Yes, sir. That's
I am learning. I must confess that
yes,
you here all are learning. I am still learning. Whatever we are learning is incomplete because law is ocean. It's like discovering a ocean, Pacific Ocean. It is not so easy. So keep learning, keep discovering. Don't give up. You have to keep on reading. Along with the law, you read literature, you read history, geography. And Chief Justice of India yesterday gave an example. A lawyer will be only a mason and not an architect if he doesn't know history, if he doesn't know geography. That is, he quoted the examples of a famous novelist, English novelist, that is Sir William Scott. Isn't that? Read that beautiful article with Chief Justice of India, Justice Bobade wrote. Very enterprising, very inspiring article that a lawyer should know everything. He should not only be a man of law, you should know history, literature, geography. Otherwise, you will remain only a mason or a smith. If you know all this, you will become an architect. So you'll become an architect of law if you read so many judgments of various courts and you know history, geography. Iसीलिए my brother, don't confine to specialization. Please don't ever make this mistake. Many lawyers in Bombay, in cities, they want to make money, quick money. एक ही field पकड़ लेते हैं. Taxation पकड़ेंगे, cooperative law पकड़ेंगे, corporate पकड़ेंगे. Their knowledge of other laws, CRPC, Evidence Act, and other branches remain zero. So you will cut a sorry figure in the court of law. You will not be in a position. Read everything and do everything and tell the client you do A to Z litigation. And be confident, work hard. If you work hard, you can do any litigation. So when I joined the High Court bar, I did not have any godfathers. I began sitting in the library and learning the law myself and exposing myself with the poor people's brief and amicus curiae and expose me. I'm doing pretty well by the grace of God. Of course, in the trial court, I had very good lawyers, both in the civil and criminal court. I stayed with them for about totally 9 years. I spent an internship of 9 years. That helped me to become a good, strong lawyer, High Court advocacy is not very difficult because you are learning the law of writ and you are arguing on affidavits. It's miscellaneous orders are passed in the High Court. But actual foundation of a case goes to trial court, the magistrates court, the city civil court, the small causes court, where evidence is recorded. You go there. In the High Court also, original side is the procedure for recording evidence. But judges have no time. They are delegating the function to commissioner. Poor commissioner with commission themselves do not know anything about Evidence Act. Many of them in the High Court, they are not exposed to trial. Many of them. But some of them are, yes. That is what they said. In arbitration, why Evidence Act applicable? There is hardly any evidence is recorded. Mostly the matter is disposed of on affidavit on the statement of the person. So you, according to me, join when you practice, join the lowest court possible, either in Delhi or Bombay or Calcutta or Madras, and experience the lower court. Of course, the atmosphere may not be that elegant like Supreme Court, High Court. Forget the atmosphere, forget the sophistication, non-sophistication. Damn that. You will learn the ABCD there only. You will learn in the police station how to record FIR, how your remand application is prepared in the magistrate courts, how your bail is argued initial stages, how the magistrate convinces, how the magistrate tells the accused person his fundamental rights are not. They are all discussed in the lower court. Whichever area you are residing, Kolaba, Bandra, Andheri, go to the magistrate's court and sit for 1 hour and find out the remand stage, and that you will learn so many things. And keep asking senior lawyers the procedure. They are ready to help. Everybody helps juniors. In my junior days, I used to be very inquisitive, used to ask every senior and everybody. Even in the High Court, people have been very kind to me. I must take the names of some seniors like Rafiq Dada, Ghulam Mohanwati. They have been very kind to me. Even Mr. Chagla, they have been very kind and warm whenever questioned. Even the senior gentleman who was the the Advocate General of India, what is his name?
आशुतोष कुंभकोणी
नहीं दिल्ली में थे, the Parsi gentleman was a senior of Mr. Justice Chandrachud senior. What is his name? I forget. Very nice name. Ava, you remember it? He's a Parsi, very eminent lawyer.
Palkiwala, sir.
Palkiwala ke baad, Palkiwala also very eminent lawyer. By the time I joined the profession, Palkiwala was almost reducing his work. Andhya Arjuna. Mr. Andhya Arjuna, I used to ask him. Even I had the opportunity to interact with Mr. Baba, who was the senior of Soli Sorabji, Falil Nariman. Wonderful man. He was to sit in the second floor High Court library. I used to interact with him. I used to read all his judgment. He was the Doyen of the bar at the time in the early 50s and 60s. Karshadji Baba. What an eminent lawyer he was. And I took a lot of feedback from him. He was ready to help. Such a wonderful person I never seen. Everybody helps. I'm so grateful to everybody. Even senior advocate Mr. Mushala, Rafiq Dada, and Ghulam Mohanwati, and Mr. Chagla, they all have been very helpful. Everybody, they help you. All lawyers are very good in the High Court everywhere, and they love to help juniors. Please don't be under the impression that the seniors are not helping you. That's an accusation wrong made. A junior is not prepared to work hard. You work hard, and it is good not to expect money from the seniors when you are working, because I will send you one of the beautiful video of our senior advocate Mr. Chagla when he was working with his seniors, and I think after your examination I will send you watch it for 1 hour. What a beautiful, how Chief Justice Chagla, his father, when he was Jinnah's junior, how Jinnah was cold-hearted, did not treat him well, did not give him work, and how he came up, what kind of adversity, hardship he faced. And he beautifully puts it in his interview. I will send it to you. I will send it to you today.
So you can change it. Yeah, you can send it today. So because
I will send it to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
And even
Sir, I have something to say, sir. You said William Scott, sir. William Scott is not in English literature, sir. He was a British painter.
The Chief Justice Bobade suggested his name. See that his name. I will tell you. If you see
because sir, I've studied it
Scott.
in English
His name
literature,
is-
and
his second name
my
is Scott.
book
His
said.
second name is Scott.
Okay, William Scott, sir.
Scott. SCOT.
Yes, sir. My book says that he's a British painter who did abstract paintings in the 90s. It doesn't say.
What is his first name? Just see that.
William Scott is what I
No,
have
I
in
will
my
share,
list.
not William, it is Wilfred, something like that. I will share after the lecture. I will share his
Okay.
name. I will share the name. If you give me 2 minutes right now, I'll share it now. 1 minute.
No
Give me
problem,
1
sir.
minute. I will give you right now.
So is that Walter Scott?
Walter Scott. Yes.
Okay,
Got
sir.
it?
Sir Walter Scott. Sir Walter Scott.
Walter Scott, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Walter Scott.
His
He is
novels
he's a
were, I think,
novelist. He's a
similar
poet.
to
And
James
his
sir.
father was a solicitor in England, and in the early 17th century. Okay.
Yes, sir. It seems Walter Scott is correct, not William Scott.
Yes. You read about him, that the Chief Justice of India, Bobade's article, it is in almost all the magazines and yesterday's and today's paper, beautifully written, and he rightly so, and I endorse it fully with him. Okay. Yeah. Next, come down to solve two of the problems. Here ho gaya na, facts ho gaya. One ho gaya, two ho gaya. Then number B. A barrister is instructed by attorney or vakil that important witness is a dacoit. A dacoit is a dacoit. Can the barrister ask witness he is a dacoit, give reason? Yes, he can question. This is section 149 of the Evidence Act permits you to ask certain question whether when a person's character motive is involved. Please see section 149 के अंदर 149, 150, 148, 149, 150 permit you such question and also tell you which question cannot be asked. The 147 may witness, when witness will be compelled to answer question, because we learned that witness cannot refuse question. 148 may court to decide when question shall be asked, when witness compelled to answer. When the witness takes up the plea, I will not answer, then the court will pass a ruling. That ruling is passed under section 136, as I told you that. That is the finding of the court whenever there is a question with regard to such questioning. Then 148 says court to decide when question. Then आ गया 149 में आ गया, देखिए उसमें illustration में आ गया. Question not to be asked without reasonable ground. No such question as is referred to in 148 ought to be asked unless the person asking it reasonable ground for thinking that the imputation which is conveyed is well founded. See the illustration. A barrister is instructed by attorney or vakil that important witness is a dacoit. That is a reasonable ground for asking a witness when he is whether he is a dacoit. Because this question, depending upon what is the issue before the court, what is the allegation before the court, under section 145, 146 and 155, you have a right to contradict, confront a witness and placing on record that your reputation is not clean. You are a person who has committed a crime. You are a person given to commit crime. You have done so dacoity, A place, B place, C place. Are you? You can be like, you can ask a person whether you have drinks, whether you are dacoit, depending upon what the issues are before the court. If it is not related to the issue, you cannot ask. Please note that. It must be related to some charge against the witness or in the prosecution or in the civil cases which are sought to be asked. Otherwise, unnecessary, scandalous questions or indecent questions are barred under section 151 and 152. You cannot annoy the witness. See, 151 says scandalous questions you cannot ask. Indecent questions you cannot ask. So you should, even when you're asking a question about her chastity, about her consent, you cannot be going to the extent of indecent question, making a draw, the inference that you are in the habit of sleeping with several people. That question not permitted. This is an indecent question. It's a scandalous question. It should be objected immediately. And you cannot annoy or insult the witness.
So who will object, sir? The opposing counsel or the judge?
Opposing counsel and also the court. The court has ample power to control the proceeding. Under section 165, the court can tell, stop it. Power of the court, very powerful.
Yes, sir.
Under section, please note that. Okay. But there is no bar in asking this question under 149A, provided it is related to the issue before the court. Similarly, you cannot ask question relating to character unless the character is an issue before the court under section 52. पढ़े आपने? Yeah. Next आ जाइए. A witness of whom nothing whatsoever is known, being questioned to his mode of life and means of living, gives unsatisfactory question. Whether a witness can be asked is a dacoit हुआ चुका है. We are given. Then next question. A is tried for right and is proved to march at the head of the mob. Whether the cries of the mob are relevant, if under what provisions of law. In the instant case, if the mob was silent during the march, what difference will it make on it? Now, this section we have gone through. Anybody remembers it now? You remember it? 9. Section 9. Section 9 में भी use कर सकते हैं आप इसको. Also section 6 में as rest gets stay. Now open section 9. Section 9, illustration
Open,
F.
sir.
Huh?
Open, sir.
That is, you are giving under Section 9, you are explaining to the court about the nature of the transaction. It is explanatory. Evidence explaining the incident of the case is allowed, and the cries of the mob are relevant under Section 6. Read here. Section 9, fact necessary to explain, introduce relevant fact or relevant for which support, rebut, inferences suggested for so relevant for which establishing the identity of anything is very wide. See that here? For showing time, placement, issue relevant happen, we show the relationship between the parties, such fact, transaction relevant, so as to they are necessary for the purpose. So illustration number F check karo. A is tried for right, and is proved to have marched at the end of the mob. The cries of the mob are relevant as explanatory in the nature. Explanatory in the nature, come back to even Section 6, please. Rest guest stay. Oh, Section 6 ke andar, this is also accused of murder B by beating him. Whatever said by A, B, bystander being treated shortly after put to it are relevant. So here the question will be under Section 9, explaining the conduct, explaining the nature of the transaction. Because the word transaction explaining is used in Section 9. Use it. Okay. Then in the instant case, the mob was silent during the march and different will make it. Yes, evidence can be led. They did not raise any allegation. You may say that now the Kisan movement the Kisans are rousing anti-government slogans. The government prosecutor will take up the plea. The defense will take up. No, they were silent. It was a peaceful march. They were not attempting to stabilize the government. So in some of the cases have been filed against both CAA as well as the farmers litigation, holding that they are anti-national. Many of the high courts have rejected the contention because right to protest is given under the constitution, and whatever the peaceful slogans given are not so. When the matter reaches trial court, so those are the high court submission. The matter in the trial court, evidence goes for damages or stopping, injunction, stay order, seeking any order. So evidence can be led under Section 9. Okay.
Sir, quick question, sir. We had this farmers protest. We had Shaheen Bagh also, sir. As a lawyer, if they come to you, how because today's world you are very much misinformed by the media on both sides. So how do you determine what the case is and whether they are right or wrong? How do you go about it, sir?
You should know your constitutional provision, Article 19. Right to protest is given is a fundamental right. And see the videos, whether are they sitting silently or raising any protest against the government, are the slogans are very dangerous to government, are speaking of throwing the government, whether Article Section 124A of the IPC is attracted or not, waging a war against the country, is a distinguished. So there are several judgments of the Supreme Court. Waging a war is not a easy crime to prove it, isn't it? So many high courts have taken the view that neither the CIA nor the farmers' litigation is anti-government. It is a peaceful protest which the constitution gives rights. Of course, there are two sides of the coin. The matter comes to you, you have to decide as a lawyer whether when you are representing the government, you take that stand, and whether you are representing the other side, you have to marshal the evidence. So it's a matter of your collective conscience and your judicial knowledge. Your knowledge comes into play. So you have to give advice as per the law. And watching the videos and the newspaper reports are not itself completely evidence under the law. Something out there. So it's remain to be seen. Yes. Now let us not discuss too much of political issues. We cannot discuss because these things also happen during emergency. See, if you take the examples from the time of emergency, whichever government is a majoritarian government, they like to enjoy power and authority. There are bound to be excesses. Samjana? So you have to accept it. You have to accept it. Any majority, any government, A government, B government, C government, man by nature is an authoritarian. There is always an ego and pride. You should listen to me. Otherwise, the laws are not made. Samjana?
Yes, sir.
Authoritarian government. During emergency, Indira Gandhi passed so many laws, so many opposition leaders were under arrest. Isn't it?
Yes,
That
sir.
can happen. So certain excesses even now happen. That happen. It is but natural. When you read if you are a student of administrative law and constitutional law, you come to know about it. It is part and parcel of the system. You must get along with it. You must sing or swim along with it. समझे ना आप? You
Yes,
learn
sir.
to swim and swing along with it. Don't mistake.
So you fought cases during the emergency, sir?
Emergency, I was a child. I was in a ninth
Okay, sir.
standard.
Okay.
I'm not that very old. I'm still young man. I'm playing tennis,
Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes,
I
sir.
consider myself sweet 16, more younger than you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now come to question number 4. Explain what examination chief re-examination when it is held for what purposes. So section 137 of the Evidence Act tells you examination chief is by a person who conducts the examination of his client. And the adversary asking questions, the defendant asking question to the plaintiff lawyer, plaintiff question, that is his cross-examination. And re-examination is if in the cross-examination certain ambiguities have come into play. If your client, some new evidence has come on record, you must request the court, my lord, there is a new evidence has been produced in cross-examination and certain ambiguity in the cross-examination, and also answer, opportunity may kindly be given to me, to my client, to do re-examination. This is a very important section. When you can do re-examination, please see that re-examination. The examination of a witness, that is the plaintiff witness, you as a lawyer who conducted the examination chief, after the cross-examination of your client, if you feel that your client has not correctly answered certain question, there is ambiguity, not understood it correctly, certain documents are produced and recorded by the other side, you want to explain them. Then you have to tell the court, Lordship, I am not closing the case. I may be allowed to re-examine the witness. The court will tell you make application, or the court will ask you what are the question, where is the ambiguity, what are the new points, you have to point it out, read the section. The examination of a witness subsequent to the cross-examination of the party call shall be re-examination. Re-examination. Then when re-examination is allowed, is not given here. 1 minute. There should be, in my book is not given. Your book must be given. See that? There is one more sentence is missing in my book.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Read it out. When re-examination can be held is very important. मेरी हमारी
The re-examination shall be directed to the explanation of the matters referred to in cross-examination, and if new matter is by permission of the court introduced in re-examination, the adverse party may further cross-examine upon that matter.
Yes, that you should remember it. That you should remember it. This is missing in one of the Bare Act which I am holding. Fortunately, I know the procedure because I have conducted re-examination of several clients in the court. Recently, I conducted the re-examination of the eminent author, Mr. Kulsar, in the High Court. After that re-examination, unfortunately, the lockdown happened.
So why do you have to conduct re-examination? He was not examined properly.
Other side produced certain documents, number one. And
Okay.
In the cross-examination, my client could not explain certain question properly. There was an ambiguity. He said in the society whom he had met, his name is not given. The name of the secretary was not given. And I asked him in the re-examination, can you please tell the Honorable Court who you met in the name of the secretary, can you give whom you met, who refused your permission? That is one thing. The other side had produced certain documents which I wanted to rebut. So permission was granted to me or did cross-examination. So unfortunately,
Sir,
that is
in case
explanation
of
can be given. There is a Supreme Court judgment. Re-examination can be done even if a party gets some new evidence subsequently. You can tell the court there's some new evidence has come on record. And I would like to explain the existing evidence, or there's some ambiguity before the court. The court normally permits re-examination. उसके बाद फिर re-cross examination भी permit करता है. You read it out. 137 के last paragraph. It is there with you?
Yes, sir.
Read it out, please. Re-cross examination. Section 137 में last paragraph पढ़िए.
The examination of a witness subsequent to the cross examination by the party who called him shall be called as re-examination.
Then उसके बाद और है देखो और paragraph.
So cross examination का लिखा है, the examination of a witness by the adverse party shall be called as cross examination.
उसके बाद next paragraph.
So then it's gone to 138, so order of examination.
नहीं, there is something is missing in the evidence act. Then I will just check from the Munir's evidence act.
Because हाँ सर वहाँ पे लेकिन second line में लिखा है the examination and cross examination must relate to relevant facts, but the
Yes,
cross examination.
I am giving you the. I am reading out the. I think your bare acts are not correctly writing the wordings. The some of the printers are the publishers are making mistake. Re-examination of a witness subsequent to cross-examination of a party called re-examination. Re-examination. एक minute. Then see 138 में the order of examination. Sorry. Then see in 138 it is given. See the examination, cross-examination must relate to relevant fact, but the cross-examination need not be confined to facts which the witness testified. See the direction. Then direction of re-examination. Have you found it after 138? Directions of re-examination.
Yes, sir.
The
I read it, sir, for
re-examination
you.
should be directed to the explanation of the matters referred to in the cross-examination, and if new matters is with the permission of the court introduced in re-examination, the adverse party may further cross-examine upon that party. So this is under 138 last paragraph में mention किया गया है. After suppose I as a plaintiff I examine you as my client witness, other side will cross-examine you. In the cross-examination you brought some more new facts or some confusion in your mind is come. The judge recorded it. I should clear the confusion. I must request the court allow my client to re-examine me, because in the cross-examination they have brought new document. Or suppose, for example, at the time when you give evidence, you had lodged the petition for probate. Only probate was not given to you. When after your examination chief is over, probate mila aapko, then you can tell the court, now I obtained the probate, allow me to produce it in re-examination. Because they are questioning your right title interest, whether you are not the heir, you are not the legal representative, mere will not give you right. You may tell the court, no, my lord, during the pendency of the suit, in the probate court has given me a probate which I seek to produce under, that is called new evidence. So with the permission of the court, 138 mein last matter yahi hai, dekhiye, introduce in the re-examination. You are introducing this matter with the permission of the court. So there are 4 stages in the evidence. Number 1, your examination chief, your cross-examination, then your re-examination, then the other side re-examining you. Please note that there are 4 stages which are contemplated from section 137 to 138 in the CPC, read with order 18, rule 4 CPC, and in the CRPC, section 273 onwards. Trial, it will come both in the session trials, the alag provision hai, that is the section 225 onwards. Session trial before a magistrate in a warrant case, otherwise than the court. Section 225 से लेकर 300 जाएगा. And inquiries and trial before the criminal court, that is a section starting from a section that you know, that you are CRPC, don't forget, your a trial in session court from 225 से लेकर, that is a chapter number 18, and before a magistrate warrant cases section 238 onwards, that is chapter 19. Then there are 2 trials, 2 types of trial before a magistrate, in a warrant case and otherwise than warrant case, that is the private cases. Then there is a trial before summons case before the magistrate in chapter 20, 251. We should know that. Then don't forget to remember the provisions of evidence inquiry trial in chapter 23 in CRPC, starting from section 272. 273 से evidence शुरू होता है. 273, evidence to be taken in the presence of the accused, evidence in summons cases. That procedure till section 299 tak aapko janna padega if you want to be a successful trial lawyer in criminal matters. Huh? But I wish you should take up both the type of matters. Many lawyers practice in criminal law. Very few lawyers practice in both the sides. But they take up selected matters. Suppose if they are practicing in civil side, 138 check bouncing case, they go to criminal court. Of course, I understand they may be lack of time. They want to run after, they want easy money. They do not want to work hard. But I expect you to work hard, take up all types of matters. Initially, 5-6 years, nobody bothers to, you will not be in a position to earn big money. Please note that. Don't run after money. And money will come to you. The moment you're working hard, people approach you. Many senior lawyers say that this young man is seen working very hard. Isko brief karo. Many of them don't take up small cases. They refer. In my junior days, I used to enjoy a lot of patronage from seniors. This fellow young boy is working hard. Take it up. Bail matter de do usko. Remand matter de do usko. Return of property de do. Injunction matters. So fortunately, I enjoyed the blessings of almost all seniors in the bar. So you must maintain cordial relationship with all advocates at the bar. Please note that. You should not antagonize any senior, any juniors. Maintain a friendly temperament and good nature, and you should command good respect. That respect is your goodwill. That is your goodwill. Goodwill se enjoy karenge profession mein. And your appearance before judges must be very pleasant. So ये सब सीख जाओगे आप. Okay? There are three stages.
Sir, quick question, sir. Sir, are celebrities treated badly by the general public? Do you feel that?
Not exactly. In some cases, it happens. See, there are disgruntled element and black sheep in every field. Public may be hai, lawyers may be hai, there are doctors may be hai. You have to ignore them. Pick up the good qualities of a human being, praise it, and ignore the negatives. Remember?
Yes, sir.
Take up the good qualities and of a human being and enjoy it. Somebody, your friend, may be having certain negative things. He doesn't want to change. Forget, man. Take his good qualities and enjoy his friendship.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Next question aa jaiye. Describe the theory of relevancy. Again, we repeat here. That is section 50. Theory of relevancy is given in section 5 to 57. Section 5. Leading evidence, matter and issue, and relevant fact. Section 5 to 55. Please padhiye. I won't be again explaining this. Then explain in details the provision relating to confession. Irrelevant, and when it is irrelevant. That is section 24 to 31. हम पढ़ चुके हैं. I need not go. Section 23, 24, 25, 26 makes the confession inadmissible for promise gratification which is given to the police officer, recorded by police officer. Confession only recorded before a magistrate under 164 CRPC is valid, and confession which is made by the accused to the police officer under 27, which results in discovery, is admissible to certain extent. Okay? Then 28, 29, that speaks of a case where the promise and considerations are removed, when disability is removed. Promise nahi kiya tha. It's difficult to prove this. Then 30 is a joint trial where the joint trial, a co-accused makes a confession against the accused when they are admissible. Such statements are admissible only when they are jointly tried under the provisions of CRPC. If they are tried separately, A cannot say I and myself and B, C, D killed D. That statement is only implicates him and others, is admissible under section 30, provided there is a joint trial. If there is no joint trial, that statement is not admissible. Okay? That already we have gone through. I won't be wasting your time and my time. Next, aa jaiye abhi. Explain in details the provisions of section 32 of Indian Evidence Act regarding statement of person who is dead or cannot be found. So yesterday we had done this. Section 32 has got 8 subsection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Section 32 1 deals with the dying declaration when a person is dead, isn't it? Then The
Sir, 32 देख लें sir. I think we never got a chance to go in it in detail.
नहीं देखें, दोबारा देख लेंगे, चलो दोबारा देख लेंगे. I will just open my Bare Act. I'm just searching where it is. Yes. 32 आ जाइए. 30. Yeah, statements by persons who cannot be called as witnesses. So 32 tells you here, not only dead person, also persons who cannot be found, a person who has become incapable of giving evidence, or who cannot attend the court without reasonable delay or expenses under certain circumstances. So there are many types of people are covered here. So 32(1) covers in a case number 1, a person giving statement as regards his death. For example, he makes a statement to the police officer, magistrate, or to the hospital में judge or doctor को, nurse को बोलेगा, when I was hurt, injured on account of enmity with B, who stabbed me. That is also the dying declaration. That declaration is known as, it is not before a magistrate, it is before a doctor. It is also admissible in many cases, the Supreme Court said. That is called, anybody knows what kind of confession it is? I told you, bhul gaye.
So dying confession.
Dying declaration of which nature? Extrajudicial confession. क्या बोलते हैं उसको?
Extrajudicial confession.
If it is made before a private person, extrajudicial. If it is made before a magistrate, magistrate, it is called judicial confession. It is a judicial confession. समझे ना आप? याद रखिए. ये books के अंदर भी है, judgment में भी है. I have given you. That is dealt under section 32(1). 32(1) में अनेक situation है. A person making in anticipation of your death. He doesn't know whether he is likely to be killed or not. But he makes a statement to wife or friend, and I am going to attend so-and-so party for settlement of a case. Or my friend has invited me for dinner. He didn't know he's going to put poison. So whatever he said prior to going to dinner, that is called statements of a dying person relating to circumstances of the transaction of his death. So that statement is given by the wife, child, son, brother, and whichever person whom he had made it. Though they are hearsay, but they are admissible. Because this is related to the death of a person. समझे ना आप? That is 32(1). 32(2) के अंदर, in the course of a business. So in the ordinary course of a business, your grandfather had maintained a diary. वो डायरी में स्टेटमेंट कुछ लिखे उन्होंने. You can prove them. B has to give you some money to my grandfather. He has supplied goods, which is denying. He took loan from my grandfather, my father, which is denying. I can substantiate it not only from his statement of my father, which he has maintained from the books of account, and also from the bank account income tax returns. You can prove this additional statement, which you can prove.
So, sir, what is the difference between then a dying testimony?
Dying testimony, a person makes a declaration before the magistrate under section 164, voluntary statement. Maybe, sorry, or before a doctor or nurse. It's a dying testimony. I am dying. My death is due to the reason that I was administered. I have been killed by A, B, or some motor accident. Some motor vehicle hit me. So a dying person makes a statement and dies. He gives the cause of his death. And somebody watching and somebody knowing his state of affair, to whom he had confided and told the certain thing before death, they are called evidence relating to transaction of his death. So the expression dying testimony is not used in Evidence Act. The statement relating to death, the cause of his death, or transaction relating to his death. That is in American English Act, what you are saying, testimony, dying testimony, but little concept is different here. Ours is little more wider than the other jurisprudence. 33 में आ जाइए. Or against a maker, a person making a statement in diary, I have taken 1 lakh rupee. He writes a letter to his friend. I will pay you the amount of loan which you had given me, kind enough to give me, within 6 months. And he dies. So, the plaintiff can make use of the letter. This is the statement of a person against his interests. He said he owes me money. His children and family may deny it. That statement is against his proprietary interest, is binding. So a dead man's statement is binding. Unless you take up the plea, letter is fabricated. Letter was never written. वो आपका evidence.
Or you can also take up a plea now that subsequently the debt was squared off before he died.
There are many pleas can be taken up, but here ultimately this section talks of the kind of evidence you are allowed to lead. So the plaintiff can lead evidence. I have evidence to show that he wrote me a letter. A previous letter. Why would a person say that accept the liability unless he... And he also made a statement in the presence of XYZ, Panchayat ke paas bhi. Panchayat ne recording kiya hai, if it is a gaon village. Okay, such statements can be accepted. 4 ke andar giving opinion as to public right, a custom matter. So, expert evidence, here the experts give evidence. Under section 45 mein padhe aapne, expert evidence starts. Who are experts? Then opinion as to customs and usages is section 48. And when the opinion of the expert who died also gives is binding under section 32(4) to prove cases under the provisions of section 13. Proving a right or custom. You have filed a suit for adoption. Your adoption took place at the age of 20. Defendants are denying. My brother never adopted anybody. He was a bachelor. He was alone. He was a spinster, whatever reason. And the plaintiff is a bogus files a suit. He was never adopted. So you can prove the custom in the family that even after the age of 15, 20, you can be adopted. Your adopted father had gone to the school and made your name entries. And your experts can also be examined and give evidence to show that yes, in this particular community, adoption is permitted. Okay, that is 24 mein. Relating to existence of relationship. So documents which show blood relationship of persons, such as wills, documents, codicils, declarations, letter returns, they all can be used. Decrees of the court to show whether they are husband and wife or not. Marriage was dissolved. Relationship doesn't continue. Continues. So this can be resorted to. 6 is a specific provision for will relating to family matters. Suit is filed for administration of the property of your grandfather. Dispute among the children. Your brothers, siblings are fighting. Each disputing relationship, each disputing signatures. So whatever is misstated. And third parties are claiming legal rights that I am the adopted son. Then there is a HUF created. So whether these entities are legal or illegal can be proved from the family affairs, will, documents if any on the record. 7 may document relating to transaction mentioned in 13 clause A. Section 13 clause A, that is relating to the customs which you mentioned right now. Then maps relating to express feeling of relevant people, the res gestae feelings of various people under section 6 of the act. So 32 is very wide. Please go through the illustration which we have already gone through. I won't read again. Okay? ये हो गया.
Yes, sir.
अभी next question कौन सा है भैया? E, 4E, define evidence, explain different types of evidence, explain their evidentiary value. So the definition of evidence is given to you in the interpretation clause. Definition to जानना चाहिए आपको. Number 1. Then you have to take out section 59. Say there is a oral evidence, documentary evidence, circumstantial evidence, probative. The matters before the court. What is proved is a lengthy answer. So remember section 5960. Electronic evidence, oral evidence, primary evidence, section 62, secondary evidence, 63, 65. Then circumstantial evidence, how it is led, invoking various inferences drawn under 114, and section 9, 11, where you draw inferences. Circumstantial evidence is the best evidence. Documents may lie, witnesses may lie. The best evidence is the person, ocular evidence with the witnesses come and depose. So you have to give a little list of the entire Evidence Act in this. From the first lecture, if you see my lecture, that is vague, salient features of the Evidence Act we given. उससे मालूम हो जाएगा आपको. And you come to know even if you read somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
So in 59, why have they omitted documents and electronic records? Is it because they're self-explanatory, sir?
Yeah, because the oral evidence has to be direct. No? I mean, what you see from the fact, you cannot rely upon that. The documents speak for itself. Section 60, 62 say that documentary evidence means the document primary evidence. Primary evidence means the original. The documents speak for itself.
And the electronic
oral
record,
evidence, yes.
and the electronic record also
evidence,
speaks.
Electronic evidence like WhatsApp messages speak for themselves. Why you want to
Give oral evidence again?
Yes, the documents, the emails, you can produce it directly before the court. They speak for themselves. Huh? That is how it is. Yeah. Next question aa jaiye. Explain in details motive, preparation, previous or subsequent conduct. Section 8 में पढ़े आपने, remember करो, motive, preparation, conduct with the help of about 11 illustration. Remember this section tomorrow पढ़िए आप उठ के. Section 8 and 14 are very important, containing maximum illustration. 8, 9, 10, 14 पढ़ते रहिए आप. पूरे, I think all sections you should read it. Go through this. I won't be again reading it because you already gone through this. Motive, preparation, conduct, previous conduct, good conduct, bad conduct, all you can lead that person. Of course, motive itself is not a condition precedent. If a dead body is found, if you have seen person A shooting B, there is no need to have motive. It's a chashmadid gawa. There's a direct evidence. Motive comes into play in circumstantial evidence. Why A has killed B? See, in the case of Pakala Narayan Swami's case, the gentleman, son-in-law, killed his father-in-law. He cut into pieces, put in a trunk. Why? Because the father-in-law had given him loan, which he was demanding persistently, writing him letters. He said, if you don't give me the loan within period, I will charge you interest. The daughter and son-in-law got petrified and they wanted to get rid of him. So the son-in-law goes to a house one day, takes a trunk, cut the pieces under the guise of having brought the money, and takes him in a train, chhod deta jaake. So nobody knows how the old man was killed. Then evidence was led of the trunk dealer, of the rickshaw puller, and the train person, travelers, everybody. Circumstantial evidence. So the intention came into picture. Why? Motive? The reason why he killed, because he did not want to pay his loan. He was being pestered every day by his father-in-law. So read the judgment of the Privy Council I had given you. Pakala Narayan Swami versus State Empire. उसके अंदर तुमको motive, preparation, conduct सब मिल जाएगा. That's a leading judgment, not only for the purpose of circumstantial evidence, and also for the purpose of evidence under section 32. Some of the provision, I think we discussed it. देख लीजिए आप. I think we have completed this today. What is the time?
So it's 10 minutes for 10 o'clock.
I think we stop it. If need be further lecture, we can take tomorrow.
Yes, sir. We should take tomorrow, sir.
You all want any further lecture? But stop करते हैं.
No, sir. What are you saying? We take tomorrow, sir.
Okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow 6 o'clock we'll meet. Okay?
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Tomorrow 6
Okay.
o'clock.
Thank you so much, sir.
We'll deal with two more papers. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good
Okay,
night.
sir. Good night.
All the best.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank
Good
you. My
night.
pleasure. Instead of 2 hours, it became little.